guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy here, diving into one of the most messed up cases you'll ever hear. I'm talking about the Werewolf Butcher, Jack Owen Spillman. If you think you've seen dark stuff before, buckle up, because this one is going to haunt you. Imagine this. It's the dead of night in a quiet little house in East Wenatchee, Washington. The kind of neighborhood where people don't even lock their doors because nothing bad ever happens there. Until one night, it does. A masked man slips through an unlocked sliding door, silently, like a shadow. He moves down the hallway and creeps into the bedroom where 48-year-old Rita Huffman is sleeping. Before she can even scream, he clamps his hand over her mouth and starts stabbing her, again and again, straight into her neck and chest. 31 times. Blood is everywhere. The attack is fast, brutal, and over within seconds. Rita Huffman is dead. But the nightmare isn't over. The killer walks upstairs, heading straight for the bedroom of 15-year-old Mandy Huffman. Mandy wakes up. She sees him, and she fights back. Hard. There is screaming. There is chaos. Mandy tries to resist with everything she has, but he overpowers her. He grabs a baseball bat and smashes her skull again and again until she stops moving. And then things get far worse. What happens next is so disturbing that even seasoned police officers struggle to describe it later. He forces the baseball bat into her body. He mutilates her. Skin is peeled off. Organs are moved. Blood is smeared across her body as if he was drinking it. Then he goes back downstairs. Back to Rita. And then he goes back to Rita and subjects her to the same level of brutal, inhuman mutilation. Objects are shoved where they should never be. The bodies are posed inside the house. Later, officers would say this crime scene was so brutal that some of them needed therapy just to cope with what they saw. This wasn't just murder. This was pure, calculated horror. Now let's back up and talk about the victims, because they matter. Rita Huffman was 48 years old. A hard-working car saleswoman, divorced but doing well in life. She lived peacefully with her teenage daughter Mandy in what was considered one of the safest neighborhoods in East Wenatchee. Rita was friendly and kind, always helping her neighbors. She had a boyfriend she was happy with and was rebuilding her life step by step. Mandy was just 15 years old, the captain of her high school basketball team. Popular, confident, and full of life, the kind of kid everyone liked. Rita also had an older daughter, Angie, who was away at school at the time. That night, Angie kept calling home. "Mom? Mandy? Why aren't you picking up? This isn't like you guys." The phone kept ringing. No answer. Because while Angie was calling, something evil had already happened inside that house. Now, let's talk about the killer. Because nothing about this man was normal. Jack Spillman was 25 years old when he committed these murders. He had just moved into a rental house not far from Rita and Mandy. There was no connection between them. No argument, no history, nothing. They were chosen at random. Jack began stalking them, watching their routine, watching when they came home, when the lights went out, when the house went quiet. He studied them like prey. And in his own twisted mind, that's exactly what they were. Jack genuinely believed he was a werewolf. He didn't just like wolves, he obsessed over them. Posters covered his walls. He read about them constantly. He walked, stared, and even hunted like an animal. He believed the night belonged to him. His childhood was chaotic. He grew up in Spokane, Washington. His mother had multiple marriages. He never knew who his real father was. Home life was unstable, and by the time he was a kid, violence was already part of who he was. Jack was aggressive from a young age. He got into fights constantly and was expelled from school in 9th grade. As he got older, his behavior escalated. Assaults, theft, and even an attempted rape charge that never fully stuck. By his early 20s, he had already spent time in jail. And that's where people really started to notice how dangerous he was. One of his cellmates later told police that Jack loved to brag. He would talk about killing like it was a goal. "When I get out," he'd say, "I'm going to be the world's greatest serial killer." He didn't say it as a joke. He meant it. Jack read books on forensics. He studied how criminals got caught and how to avoid leaving evidence. He talked about shaving every hair off his body so police couldn't trace him. He treated murder like a skill he wanted to perfect. After getting out of jail, Jack got a job as a butcher. Cutting up animals thrilled him. It wasn't just work, it was training. Fast forward to April 12th of 1994, Rita and Mandy, it was a normal day. Rita spent the day working. Mandy went to school. Nothing felt off. Nothing felt wrong. That night, Rita talked to her boyfriend on the phone. It would be the last conversation of her life. "Hey babe, you good? I miss you." "Yeah," Rita said. "I'm just hanging out with Mandy tonight. We'll talk tomorrow." Around 11 p.m., mother and daughter went to bed. The house was quiet. That's when Jack made his move. He slipped in through the unlocked back door, mask on, knife in hand. Rita was attacked first, 31 stab wounds, no mercy. Then he went upstairs. Mandy woke up and saw him. She fought with everything she had. She screamed. She resisted. She tried to survive, but she didn't stand a chance. After killing them, Jack didn't leave right away. He stayed. For hours. Early the next morning, Angie kept calling the house. Still no answer. Something was wrong. Angie drove over and entered through the back door. What she found inside would destroy her forever. The bodies were mutilated, posed. The house looked like a slaughterhouse. Angie ran screaming into the street, crying for help. "My mom, my sister, they're dead. Someone did this." Police arrived quickly, but even veteran officers were shaken. There were no fingerprints, no usable DNA. It looked like the work of someone who knew exactly what he was doing. But small clues began to surface. A neighbor reported seeing a black 1978 Chevy pickup truck parked outside the house around 11:30 p.m. That same truck was pulled over by a police officer around 1:30 a.m. near a VFW hall. The driver was Jack. When the officer approached, Jack raised his hands like he had already been caught. He acted nervous, strange, but there was no evidence yet, so the officer let him go. That mistake would haunt him. Police began watching Jack closely, and soon they caught him burying something. A bloody ski mask. The blood matched Rita and Mandy. The mouth area of the mask was soaked, as if he had been tasting the blood. Then police found the knife. It was thrown away near the spot where Jack had been pulled over that night. It came from Rita's own kitchen set and was covered in blood. That was it. Jack was arrested on April 19th, 1995. At first he denied everything, but the evidence was overwhelming. To avoid the death penalty, Jack pleaded guilty. And then he dropped another bomb. He confessed to a third murder. A 9-year-old girl named Penny Davis. She had been missing since September 1994. Her body had been found months earlier, buried in a shallow grave. Jack admitted he killed her too. And worse, he admitted to digging up her body later for necrophilia. In court, Jack showed no emotion. "Yeah," he said flatly, "I did it. All 3. On April 30th, 1996, the judge sentenced him to life without parole for Rita Huffman, 70 years for Mandy, and 45.5 years for Penny, all consecutive. Jack Spillman will never walk free again. Angie spoke in court through tears. "He took everything from us. He has no remorse. He's not human. He's a monster." Jack wanted fame. He wanted to be remembered as a serial killer. Instead, he's remembered as the Werewolf Butcher, a man who hunted innocent people for pleasure. What do you think? Was this evil born, or was it created? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you can handle stories like this, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. More dark cases are coming. Stay safe out there.